Hello everyone, you're probably getting pretty sick of my face at this point. This video is however scripted, unlike the last one. 3 videos in 1 week, I don't even know what's happening. This week has been mad for everyone, in and outside the UK. But no, indeed I'm back with another video on a Saturday. Of course today is Suicide Prevention Day and I just thought I'd make this video. This video is of course planned and scripted unlike the last video, so I'm going to run a bit more thorough, but still unedited of course, which is the whole point. Videos like this one. I have made 2 of these videos before, I made The Truth, which was I think pretty much exactly 1 year ago now, about end of September 2021, and I also made A Message of 2022 at the end of 2021, about December. So this is kind of a long overdue sequel if you like, but of course I did it for Suicide Prevention Day because, yeah, first of all I want to make it straight clear right off the bat, don't worry about me, I'm fine, I'm doing okay. With a few bad days, everything's fine, I'm okay, this isn't anything personal really. Well, it is personal, but it's not a sob story. Don't have any sympathy for me. I have a lovely life, I live in a first world country, I'm not getting bombed by Putin, I can eat food every day, I have plastic cars, and that's a James Bond car, but anyway, no, I live in luxury basically. That's actually not bragging, that sounded like a really strange brag. But it's not, you get the point, I live in a first world country. You know, I don't have to live in danger every day. Appreciate the little things, isn't it? But yes, my story, bit of a, I'm not going to tell of course my story, everything, because that's personal. Again, this isn't a sob story, I'm not going to try and make anyone feel sorry for me or anything, I live in a lovely life. Yeah, of course, I'm sure everyone would like to complain about their complaints every now and again. That's also the point of some people do need to complain about their complaints. So let's get on with the video. So doesn't really matter. So I suppose when it came to suicide prevention generally, it was never really a key point in my life. For most of my life, I mean, of course, the pandemic. Both this story I want to tell you now kind of starts with the pandemic, doesn't it? I don't want to say that word too much, otherwise I'll get this video taken down, demonetized, whatever. But March 2020, of course, honestly, March 2021 was the key, you know, to hit the SHI, to hit the fan, but March 2020, up until March 2021, that whole year, everything was fine. I mean, I could appreciate the small things. Everyone, I think everyone did pretty well during that first year. Strangely, it was the second lockdown that everyone started struggling. Suicide generally across the UK and the world actually wasn't too up. Everyone did cope with that pandemic really well, I think, and I think that's good again. Those are practice about coping and strategies, that knowing there is a tomorrow and that things are going to get better. But yeah, that was fine. I don't think there is. Sorry, that distracted me there, whistling or something. That's really annoying actually. So everything was fine, but I think for everyone, I think it was probably March 2021, that me, myself included, everyone kind of just got worse, because lockdown was over of course, but like you say, you kind of hit, like, you kind of realise where you kind of go, and you kind of, cause like, it's the end, isn't it? I don't want this video to be stuffy, but it's getting a bit stuffy. I won't make this video any more than about 10 minutes, but and we're doing quite well for time anyway. That's kind of the moment where everyone kind of realised that what we just experienced was kind of huge. I mean, like that saying about everyone goes through the storm, but everyone comes out a bit different. It's kind of like that. And honestly, I think for everyone really, out of the pandemic, some of us just couldn't go back into life, quite frankly. I think we were quite happy being our own little social bubble all on our own, me myself included. But of course now we had to go back into the world again, which was scary for a lot of people. I mean, people who perhaps didn't like their jobs, didn't like their school, or just generally it was a bit overwhelming, wasn't it? The pandemic was honestly quite good in some ways. Well, horrible people died and got ill obviously, but in terms of the average person socially, it was okay. Then March 2021 went on, turned into April, May, June, July. I continue to kind of appreciate the small things, but I also started to appreciating the bad things, and I kind of just March 2021. I remember March 16, 2021 onwards. Kind of like I said, March, June, July, March, April, May, June, 2021. I started changing as a person because I wanted to change. I wasn't happy with the way I was living my life. But actually, honestly, it has been a good change. I'm happier with the way I am now than I was then. Sure, it's been a pretty bumpy road to get here, but I am happy with how I was now than I am then, because I can appreciate things more, and I can be more understanding and empathetic and sympathetic towards people who are struggling, going through, like I said, hard time, like the war in Ukraine, Sudan, Yemen, bad things happening in those countries with the bad governments. Funny, isn't it? War. It's never the people who are actually evil, it's always the government, or in Russia's case, Putin, just one man, that's what it takes, one man. But yeah, and again, it's similar with mental health, really. I mean, we sort of blame ourselves because we are the dictators of our own life. But it never really is our fault most of the time, because it's just the environment we're living in. I mean, again, that's a psychological question, is kind of, you know, are you affected by evil by being evil yourself, or is it the environment of evil that affects you, or something like that? But I think it's true. I mean, it's so easy, actually, quite frankly. I mean, like I say, it's easy to punch someone, but it's also easy to metaphorically punch yourself, because because if you're surrounded by too much overwhelming thoughts, you kind of go, well, I'm not going to go around, you know, shouting at everyone, that's wrong. Although some people do that, and if that's your strategy, honestly, that's okay, shouting, no one wants a bit of shouting. Turn it in on ourselves, and of course, things build up. And that happened to me, I think. I was okay then. I said August on holiday, then September was a big turning point. September, October last year, big turning point, was when things just got flipped upside down, and I realised that I was probably being too hard on my own mental well-being, and that I was being pathetic in some ways, that I needed to man up a bit, and I said appreciate the small things you have in life, and that I am privileged in a first world country, of course, and have free elections, etc. So that was good. And again, I think is that turning point where you realise kind of, with suicide prevention, of course, that most people who want to commit suicide or do commit suicide don't want to end their life. They want to kind of just stop the life they're living and live a better one. Metaphorically, of course, that can't really happen unless you believe in reincarnation, but of course still don't commit suicide. That's a very bad thing. I'm no professional, of course. If you're looking for a professional right now, go and talk to helplines. I'll put them in the description down below. So yes, okay, 8 minutes, don't want to go on too much longer. So yeah, and then we go October, end of 2021 really. Again, honestly, it was, 2021 was just a year that changed me, absolutely changed me. It was some year, not 2023, I think it was 2021. You know me, I like to be different, don't I? And yeah, it was 2021, that year that changed me, and it was strange. It was like being shown the world in a new light. I found as if I'm made my own religion or something. I've seen the world in a new light. No, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying. I'm no poet. I prefer maths formulas. I use the left side of my brain, not the right. But anyway, you get the point. It's kind of, you see the world in a better light, and you know that there are better times ahead, and it's all about how you think most of the time, about how you think rather than what's actually happening. Because if you tell yourself it's going to be okay, probably going to be okay. If you tell yourself it's going to be bad, well, those pile up very, very quickly. So now, of course, we approach 2022. 2022, globally, suicide was still pretty bad. I mean, it was still pretty bad. The pandemic definitely hasn't made a good effect. Still every day, especially now with war in Ukraine, of course, starting in February, that's relatively early on the year, that didn't help at all. And the energy crisis started about, well, to start with really, because Putin cut off pipelines. Also, I mean, like I say, there are probably going to be people who are going to kill themselves because they can't pay the bills, and because they can't feed themselves, and of course they'll just die, which is very, very sad news, and it's tragic, and it's not fair, and the world shouldn't work like that. Yes. Okay, not doing too badly for time. I'm going to go just over 10 minutes. I'd rather make this video a bit longer than actually thorough than carrying out time. So yeah, and chronological order. I add that into 2022. Definitely was hopeful, definitely hopeful. And on the whole, it's been okay, and I think it is getting better continuously. Can't say for certain. You know, a year's time, I could be really unhappy with myself. I could be really happy. I could be not even here. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, at the moment, you have to live in the present. Again, I think that's so direct. You have to live in the present. It doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. What happens right now, you can't control the past. It's happened. You can't control the future, but you can control what happens right now. That's what you should do. If you're struggling, you control it now. You know, talk to a friend. You know, phone hotline, which again I'll put in the description. You know, do those things, and honestly, it makes a difference because you're not being weak or stupid or just silly by asking for help. You should ask for help if you're struggling. And again, I don't do that. Like I say, I have to be I have to do things my own way. I'm stubborn. You have to just get used to that. Some people can accept that, which is good. I can accept that, which is good. Yeah, about being stubborn. I like being stubborn because that's me, but sometimes it isn't good for my own health, mental health, and I can say that for sure. But no, sort of February, March, January, had a few more hiccups. Definitely had a few more days which were not good. But honestly, since then, nothing much really. I mean, of course, there's still the odd day or odd week, maybe even where I'm really angry and I hate my life. But hate my own. This video is unedited. I'm not used to it, but it is scripted at least. I just hate it. But that's again the point. Like Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. You have to keep going. It doesn't matter. You have to know to move on, and in life sometimes, you're only going to be here for a small amount of time, but the rest of the universe, that can be scary, it can be good to some people. For me personally, I don't really mind. I mean, it's not a huge fact. I don't think about death much. Ironically, this video, that's what I mentioned, I don't talk about or think about death much, or even life. It's just kind of, now we're pretty much up to date really with everything. I think I actually made this video quite good. I'm happy with it. Generally, like I said, a few final touches. This video has been, if you don't know me at all, probably a bit random. Some part didn't make any sense. But of course, like I said, I've gone through a lot in the past 2 years. Honestly, the things I have been gone through are great. They've made me better as a person, and I can appreciate things more. And I can just see the world in a much better light than if I hadn't seen those things. You personally, just know that everything will be okay if you're watching this video. Even if you're not, this message to everyone, everything will be okay. Nothing lasts forever, good or bad. If you're really struggling, again, helplines in the description, and you can talk to a friend or maybe comment something. I don't know, I'm no professional, but if you want to, you can do that. And yeah, generally just you're loved really, and you mean a lot to so many people. Everyone means a lot to so many people, and again, it's a sad fact that with suicide, whilst they're alive, people hated that person when they're dead. It's too late. People realise what they've done is wrong. It's not good that we live in a world where things can work like that sometimes, but that is how it is sometimes. But know that, everything's going to be okay. There's going to be people that are going to hate you in life, there's going to be people that love you in life, but you'll always be loved by someone. Definitely. And I have respect for you as well if you are struggling, and I just fed up with things generally right now. So yes, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, stay safe, and just live every day to the fullest. And don't let anyone drag you down.